Hello again, YouTube. Thanks for hanging in there on the workshop project with us. And I think we just got this video and probably one more until we got our occupancy permit. And after that, we'll be taking a look at some more fun ham radio stuff, I think. But in this video, we're going to take a look at doing the cabinets since we had just finished putting in the floor. It's a good time to do that. I think we also got doors, and we'll look at getting the in-floor heat set up, which has been we've really been enjoying that this as we get into fall and now winter. Um, that's really been paying off and making it a nice space. In the past, we only worked there in the summers when we were building it because it gets so cold here in the winter. It's just not a good time, and so that's really changed how we're able to use the space. And so that was a good thing to do, and we'll show you how we did it. Here's the toilet going in. Like I said, we were excited about that. Um, Another thing we could do once we had the floors down was put in cabinets. My wife took the opportunity before the floor was down in the garage to stain them, not have to worry about making a mess of the brand new floor. I believe these are the most modestly priced off-the-shelf cabinets you could buy at the local store, and so some of them we had to fix before we could even use them. But my wife did a heck of a job with the finish. At least it's very much to my taste, and I think she did a nice job putting it on. And really took some cheap cabinets and made them look cool. Oh yeah, there was all kinds of measuring involved in putting cabinets in. Here's some in the bathroom. Really wasn't sure what to do with this space. I'm not sure what the guy had in mind when he was designing this space, but I thought, next to a utility sink, you always need a countertop to sit whatever you're washing or doing, and why not have some storage too? I never had too much storage. I took the opportunity to put some under cabinet lights in there too. They're on the same circuit as the rest of the lights in the bathroom and are dimmable. Here's where the vanity, place to wash up your hands. And this is in the workroom. Like I said, we kind of wanted to have a place for uh, like a microwave and a fridge, and ended up putting a little sink in the corner there too, like a little bar sink. Just a little area for snacks and stuff if you're gonna be out there all day. And we ended up getting countertops at the local store too, quote unquote, custom made. That worked out well. They did a nice job, and I think that was a good time saver over building them ourselves. And um, I think they were able to form the Formica in a way that I don't think I could have done on site, and it makes it more waterproof and attractive to my eye. So with the cabinets and countertops in, we could do the finished plumbing. Um, Mostly? Totally? I don't remember, but we did a lot of it at that point, put in some faucets and hooked the P-traps up and the drains and got everything going. Suddenly had a lot more places you could wash your hand or draw some water for working on something. Oh yeah, did the shower too. This was oh man, this was like the cheapest shower surround I'd ever seen. But it was right size, and didn't really figure we'd ever use this shower anyway, but more than once or twice. And you could have knocked me over with a feather when I saw the box it came in. I said, "Is this there's a second box somewhere, right?" There wasn't. It's just some thin sheets of plastic. The corners are pretty cool. They're like vacuum formed. But most of what makes it work is glue and caulk. And um, so far, so good. It doesn't leak. And actually, I think it looks pretty all right too, especially considering how inexpensive it was. So setting up the heating equipment was kind of a big deal since it was, a lot of it was built right on site, and I had designed it without ever having done this kind of thing before, so that was exciting. So you can see here, I've got a couple of the two zone pumps hooked up and the water heater. Kind of the way this works is there's one pump for each zone. Each zone is like the workroom and the garage, basically, is how I tried to split it up. And then there's a third pump that's not in this picture yet that circulates water through the water heater. So the water heater heats up the water, and the circulating pump takes it through um, this piece of pipe right here, and then the zone pumps, either one or both of them can run, and they'll pick up heat from that water or hot water, depending, kind of doesn't make a difference. You get the heat one way or the other, and run that through the whichever zone or both zones if both zone pumps are on, if both zones are calling for heat. I'm not explaining this very well. If you want to do it, you should read a book on it. Checking to see if anything leaks. Nothing leaked. No bubbles, no trouble. So there's the whole setup. So let me see if I can explain this a little bit. Oh, sorry, not quite the whole setup. Here's the whole setup. So this thing's the pump controller. So there's two thermostats, one in each room. And so like if the garage thermostat calls for heat, this pump controller will turn on this top pump right here. And this pumps water through the pipes that go under the garage side. And then contrary-wise, if the workroom calls for heat, then the pump controller will turn on this pump. And they can both run at the same time, that's fine, or just one or the other. And they circulate water through these pipes that go through the floor, and then importantly, they circulate it through this section of pipe here. Then there's this third pump, and this will run when either of the zones is calling for heat. And this pumps water this way and through here where it contacts the water that's going through the zone piping. And that's how heat gets from the hot water heater to the zone piping, is by mixing here, passing through here. So that hot water, now not as hot water, comes along here through a filter and into the water heater, gets hot again, and then up and around and through that circulator pump again. There's a pressure tank here because as the working fluid heats up, it expands, and so it needs somewhere to expand to, so there's a little tank. And then there's also an air separator here. There shouldn't, once it's set up and running, there should not be much, if any, air in the fluid. This pipe has an oxygen barrier to prevent oxygen from diffusing through it into the fluid, but if there is any, then this will separate it out because you don't want bubbles in there. With the heat setup, we got some doors ordered and started putting those up and started thinking about trim and that kind of thing. My wife was able to stain the doors to match the cabinets. I love that. I think it really helps tie together the finishes and make it feel like a kind of a planned out thing. Also worked on getting the alarm hooked up. And that was a fun project. That's kind of more in my wheelhouse, electronics. Some more views of getting some of the low voltage stuff hooked up and finished. This is a view of the property. This is, maybe you see here how we kind of were attracted to the place and thought it was something we'd like to have. Hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. And if it's the kind of thing you're into, I got a bunch more. I'll put links back to the earlier ones down in the description. If you're into this kind of thing, I think I got one more video on this exact subject. But if you're into electronics, old stuff, old electronic stuff, computers, ham radio, that's the kind of thing I like to do videos about. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button if that sounds like your jam too. And if you want, you can hit the bell there and get notified when I post, so you can first get on your block to hear about it.